everybody. A little peppy song for this Monday. What's up, Tiff?
It's to welcome you back, Mal. How was your trip?
It was really good. How was your birthday?
Not as good without you, but you know.
Yeah, I missed you on your birthday. I don't think I've ever missed your birthday on this show, so I hope you had a great day. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I get so used to seeing you every day. It was weird to be away for a whole week.
I know, but did you have fun on your honeymoon?
We did have fun, and we debated whether or not to go. I think everybody who's traveled during this time has wondered, should we be doing it, should we not? The funny thing is I felt totally comfortable flying. In fact, that was one of the places I felt the safest. We went to Key West, and we were very, very careful. I was proud of a lot of people, saw a lot of people wearing their masks, but I think the thing overall that I think about related to this trip was just how nice it was to get away from structure and routine and have different food. I mean, even just the fruit, to ride bikes, nice weather. I mean, it was great.
Well, I bet it just overall felt like an escape that I think so many of us need. And like you said, we sort of toy with the ideas that, okay, these pictures are beautiful. They're taking us all there right now. And I wanted some of that fresh mango. That looks amazing. Did you drink out of a coconut?
I did drink out of a coconut. I feel like you have to do that if you go there. I also made some new friends, and it's just funny because there they are. They're 4 ladies from Ohio. So it was me, my new husband, and 4 ladies from Ohio. But I was reading an article in the New York Times about why people make friends on vacation. And they say part of it is that people tend to get beyond the superficial because they get away from the demands of everyday life. They get away from family obligations, work commitments, and those experiences tend to connect people in ways that you don't make time for in everyday life, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I disagree. I think it's because you can leave them there.
You're not stuck with them? Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, a lot of people don't make friends later in life because they're sort of content with their group and they don't know how to bring someone in. In this case, you can just leave them there. You can have a wonderful time, experience the vacation, leave it there.
Interesting point. Only 11% of people in this New York Times survey said that they go on vacation to meet people or especially to make friends. But one of the things I know is that while I was gone, you mentioned having COVID, and I was really happy that you talked about it.
Yeah, well, I was diagnosed back in mid-September. So, I mean, the thing is, and we waited to talk about it until you got back because I think it's just easier for you and I to talk about it, to share. But I wanted to share in case it could help someone. But overall, everybody just needs to know every single person's experience is different. My experience is not the same as yours. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, which we'll get to more in a second, but that it's just that you need to listen to your own body because everyone is truly different with this.
What were your main symptoms? Because that's the thing I think that strikes people is everybody's situation. They all have COVID, but the symptoms are so different.
So different. I think that's why it's so confusing for people. I was lucky. I had incredible doctors kind of at my fingertips to talk to and get some great information. At the height of the symptoms, I kind of had a little bit of everything. Remember, like mine started with just sneezing, which is, we know where I got it. I know exactly where it came from. We were not wearing a mask. It was an inner close family circle person. And so it wasn't, we just knew it. She thought she just had allergies. And that's how we basically ended up getting it, sitting in a car together for a while. But mine started with sneezing and coughing. It went to a little bit of a tickle. I never had a fever. I did lose my smell and taste, remember, like fully on day 4. My lungs were on fire. I was so fatigued. I was sleeping like 12 to 14 hours a night. I could barely get up. I was extremely stuffed up, like I had a sinus infection. But at the height of it, the worst, I was having some heart issues and just some really scary stuff. And it's really difficult being alone. Truthfully, I think one of the most challenging thing was the fear that you face, because the moment you realize that that's what you have, you just don't know how your body's going to handle it. And honestly, I was very scared. There was a lot of times that I was all alone at times because you have to quarantine by yourself. And that was scary. Your mind goes to bad places at times. And because your symptoms can change from day to day, you can feel good one day and the next day you feel completely different.
Well, that's the thing that I think is so striking about it too. And I know you journaled your symptoms and kind of kept a track of how you're feeling and all of those things. which I think is so huge, especially as you share with other people. But I remember talking to you when you found out that you were sick, and it was the unknown that was so disturbing.
Yeah.
And I think what people don't realize, because I haven't had it and have not lost my sense of taste and smell, is how disorienting that is.
Yeah, you think it might be kind of an interesting experience before I had it. And then once you have it, you realize it's a bit terrifying. There were times when I was like, you know, if there's a fire, I would not smell it. I mean, your mind just goes to these, why I would never think of something like that. Certainly I would hear an alarm, but your mind just goes to these crazy places that really do scare you. And I think isolation is mentally challenging beyond words. It was very difficult for me. I was isolated for a full 17 days. And as you know, I was at the depth of a pit when I came out. And that is, I am not exaggerating that. And that's what I think is important for people to hear, is that the gratitude that I took from the experience, from people who reached out, who called, who texted, who sent food, who came over to drop things at my door at a distance, those things mattered beyond words. And that's what I want people to know, is to reach out to those, because you're scared of them when they're technically could be contagious as well.
Right, and you have to appreciate those people who do reach out, and I think that's incumbent upon all of us to know if someone's sick in your life, do something. You don't have to put yourself at risk to be helpful, but I think too, you know, that disorientation that comes, and then because you're so well read and you know so much about it, are you worried about the long-term effects, because now there's more and more information about that?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, you know this, I still have heart issues. I've never had heart issues in my life. And it's scary. I'm still tired. In fact, just last week was the moment that most of my smell was back almost completely. But I still have this bad, weird smell that I get once in a while. And anybody who's lost it may know what I'm talking about. Some people have that experience, some people don't. But this is now 9 weeks later, and I still have some symptoms that I've never had prior to having COVID. So it truly takes a toll on your body in a different way. And that's the takeaway, is listen to your body. You don't want to scare people and you don't want to overreact. So sometimes people wait too long. You need to stay hydrated. And I want to leave this tip. I bought these things on Amazon. They're called drip drops. The thing is, it's not good enough to just drink water. You have to have electrolytes, not just a Gatorade, but something like a Pedialyte or something even more strong. These were created at the Mayo Clinic. I found them on Amazon. I think the watermelon's amazing, and they truly meant a huge deal in terms of feeling better when I was at my worst.
Well, that's when I got nervous. I got scared for you, was when you were dehydrated. I felt like you weren't necessarily with it, and you'd been drinking.
I thought I was drinking so much water and I was doing everything right. It's not enough.
Yeah, you got to have the electrolytes. I know you feel like Dr. Fox, Aaliyah Fox with the Hydration Oasis saved your life, but it was getting those electrolytes in your body that really made the difference. So we have this question. I'm so glad you talked about it, Tiff, and I give you a lot of credit, because I think you're helping a lot of people by sharing, especially the mental aspects of being quarantined by yourself. But it's our sound off question today. We put it on Facebook. What would you ask someone who has COVID? What questions do people have that they want to know answers to? I think it's a good one. So go to our Facebook page and let us know what questions you have. All right, before we move on, we have to share a special TMJ4 programming note.
Yeah, that's right. You need to make sure to turn your channel to 4 Tuesday night. That's tomorrow at 8 p.m. to watch the Positively Milwaukee Awards. You're going to see the most heartwarming stories of unsung heroes in our community. And these are really everyday people just doing extraordinary things. You need to grab your tissue box and be hopeful about our world again, because you're going to shed some tears and it's going to feel good.
Love that.